a quiet town, nestled between green hills and a gentle stream, lived a kind, elderly woman named Uma. Her home was a simple cottage, surrounded by a garden and a few fruit trees. Uma's husband had passed away long ago, and she had no children. But she was never truly alone, for she had Poppy. Poppy was her little white hen, with charming black spots on her wings and a bright red comb that sat on her head like a tiny crown. Poppy was Uma's constant companion. Wherever Uma went, Poppy was sure to follow. Whether Uma was tending to her plants, sweeping the porch, or taking a slow walk down the village path, Poppy would waddle right beside her, clucking softly as if they were deep in conversation. The villagers would often smile at the sight. "Here comes Uma and her little queen," they'd say fondly. Their bond was a familiar and heartwarming part of the town's daily life. Every morning, as the sun painted the sky in shades of orange and pink, Poppy would lay a single, warm, smooth egg. Uma would pick it up with gentle hands, hold it closely and whisper, "One is enough, my dear. May we always have just what we need." Her routine was simple. She would boil the egg, eat half for her breakfast, and save the other half for her dinner. This was her life, peaceful, content, and filled with a quiet sense of gratitude for the small blessings she received each day. For a long time, life flowed on like this, tranquil and predictable. Days turned into weeks, and seasons changed. Then one morning, something unusual happened. When Uma went to check Poppy's nest, she blinked in surprise. Lying there, side by side, were not one, but two perfect eggs. A gentle smile spread across her face. "Well now," she said softly to Poppy, "that's very generous of you." She cooked one egg for her own meal and decided to take the second one to the market. She didn't ask for much, just enough to buy a little rice and a small piece of jaggery for a sweet treat. But the next day, it happened again. Poppy laid 2 eggs, and the day after that, and the day after that. This new pattern didn't go unnoticed. Soon, the entire village was talking about Uma's fortunate hen. Her neighbors started offering advice. "Sell both eggs. Uma, you could make some extra money," one suggested. "You should feed Poppy more," said another. "Maybe she'll start laying 3 eggs a day." A more ambitious villager chimed in. "Think bigger, Uma. You could get 10 more hens and start a real business." But Uma simply smiled, shaking her head gently at their well-meaning but frantic advice. "One for me and one to share," she would reply calmly. "That's enough." And so, a new routine began. Every day, she would give away the extra egg. Sometimes it went to a family struggling to make ends meet, sometimes 2 hungry children on their way home from school. On other days, she would quietly leave it on someone's doorstep, a silent gift with no name attached. It wasn't long before the whole town started calling her Egg Uma, the kind old woman who shared her blessings with everyone, no matter how small. Then, the monsoon arrived. Dark, heavy clouds gathered over the hills, and the rain began to fall. It didn't stop for days. The gentle stream swelled into a raging current, overflowing its banks and flooding the nearby fields. Many families lost their crops, and food quickly became scarce. It was a difficult time for the entire village, but through it all, Uma and Poppy's little miracle continued. Every single morning, Poppy laid 2 eggs, never more, and never less. Uma, who had been wisely saving some of the eggs, now had a small stockpile. She boiled them and pickled them, creating a source of nourishment that she could share. Quietly, she distributed them to those who were most in need, offering a bit of comfort in those dark, rainy days. One afternoon, as the rain beat down on her roof, a few villagers appeared at her door. They were drenched and tired, and their faces were filled with regret.
"Uma," one of them began,
"You had the chance to sell all those extra eggs when times were good? You could have made so much money. You could have bought a bigger house, more hens. Why didn't you?" They looked at her, genuinely puzzled by her choices. Uma smiled that soft, peaceful smile of hers. Her eyes were calm, and her voice was steady as she answered. "Because true happiness isn't about gathering more," she explained. "It's about loving what we already have, and sharing it when the time comes." She gazed out at the rain falling on her little garden, her expression serene. I kept only what I needed, she continued. The rest it was never mine to keep. It was a gift to be shared. At her feet, Poppy clucked softly, as if adding her own agreement to every word. The villagers stood there in silence, the rain drumming a rhythm around them. In that quiet moment, something profound shifted within their hearts. They understood a truth that money could never buy, a lesson that Uma had been teaching them all along with her simple, daily act of kindness. True happiness doesn't come from collecting more possessions or chasing after wealth. It comes from appreciating what you have, right here and now, and using it to bring comfort and help to others. Because when we lift someone else up, we invariably lift ourselves. When we share what we have, even if it's just a little, we become rich in ways that matter most, in compassion, in peace, and in love. And that, as Uma always knew, was the real treasure of life. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more content that inspires and uplifts. We'll see you in the next one.